We have already seen what a root user is. Let me discuss a few more properties of the root user. You should never use a root user at all. It should be locked away and kept safe all the time. That is one of the best practices of IAM. MFA should be enabled for root user as well. And this is another best practice to enable MFA for your root user. Root user can also be used for programmatic access as other IAM users. An access ID and secret access key can be created for root users as well. Logically, our next topic should be permissions, but before that, we need to know a little bit about JSON. JSON is JavaScript object notation. JSON is a way to represent data, nothing more. This is how a record is represented in JSON. Columns in a JSON record is called key or attribute. It starts and ends with curly braces. Everything within these two curly braces is a single record. Employee ID and employee name are the first two columns or attributes or keys of this record. Employee ID has an integer value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and employee name has a string value of XYZ. This is another key or attribute which holds a JSON value itself. This is called embedded document. The key is address and the value of this address key is itself a document which has more keys and values. Then we have this key, skills, which is an array. Array elements are put in square brackets. Each value within an array is called an element, which can be fetched using array indexes. This one is the most complex key stored in this record. Cars key itself is an array which has 3 elements. Each element is a document here. Each document contains 2 key value pairs. First one is a simple key value pair and the second was is another array with varied number of elements in it. Now suppose for some purpose you want to access these keys or attributes or columns. To access employee ID, this should be used. To access address, address in double quotes should be mentioned. Now if you use this, you'll get the entire document with all the key value pairs. Suppose you want to access the subkey street. To access street, which is part of a second level document, in the address key, you have to mention the key of the first level dot key of the second level. Here, address dot street, because address is the first level key and street is the second level key. To access this second element of this key skills, the element should be mentioned along with its index. In this case, the first element has an index of 0, second element has an index of 1 and third element has an index of 2. To access Toyota, which is a value of a key of the first document element of cars array, this should be used because this is the first element of cars key. So cars square bracket 0 and then dot name. How do we access this? You can try it out by pausing this video for some time. Let me give a hint. This is the first element of models array, which is the second key of the second document element of cars array. So something like this. This is the second element of cars array. So it should be represented as cars square bracket 1. Then models key should be followed by dot and first element of models key should be indexed with 0. You'll never have to access records like I have just shown now, but you should have an idea of JSON. The previous record is actually as below. Let's dig into policies now. Policies are used to provide permissions or access to AWS resources. Policies provide the authorization in AWS system. Policies are actually JSON documents which mention what an user or group can do with or on AWS resources. It defines the authorization paradigm for AWS resources. Policies are represented in JSON. It contains 3 components at the least. The first component is effect and it says whether actions are allowed or denied on AWS resources. It actually mentions whether the privilege or action is allowed or not on resources. Then we have actions. What actions are allowed or denied? For example, create an EC2 instance, launch an EC2 instance, terminate an EC2 instance, delete S3 buckets, create security groups, VPCs, create a DynamoDB table, etc. All are different types of actions. So these are actually the actions which you can take on AWS resources. Finally, resources. AWS resources like EC2 instances, ELB, S3 buckets, etc. are denoted by ARN. ARN is very important here. You should know how to represent an AWS resource using ARN. You put all these things together collectively in a policy. These policies are JSON documents which can be attached to users or groups to provide access to perform some actions on AWS resources. There are few additional components in IAM policies too. We have something called resource-based policies, when policies are attached to AWS resources instead of users or groups. So in this case, resources get the permissions. Policies attached to resources mentions which users can perform what operations on that resource. Resource-based policies can only be attached to S3, SQS and SNS resources. The additional component it contains is principal. Principal is an entity that can take action on an AWS resource. Principal should contain the user information in the form of ARN. Suppose you have an S3 bucket here and a user or a group of users. In user-based policy, we mention what actions can be taken on this S3 bucket in a certain way, and whoever this policy is attached to, they can get the access mentioned in the policy. In this case, this user or group. In resource-based policy, we mention that on this S3 bucket, only user 1 can perform certain actions and attach this policy to the S3 bucket. No one other than user 1 can access this S3 bucket. This is what resource-based policy is. As I said earlier, resource-based policies can only be attached with S3, SNS and SQS resources. SNS is simple notification service and SQS is simple queue service. Let's see some examples now. We'll see a policy with a single statement. This is the policy with a single statement. Have you noticed something? This is a JSON document. Policies or permissions are written in JSON. The purpose of this policy is to allow list bucket action on AWS Foundation bucket. Let's decompose it step by step. The first one is version. These are the supported versions as of now. For current version, we will always mention 2012-10-17. That means 17th October 2012. There is an optional key in the record. If you do not mention anything, this version ID would be taken. The second key is statement, which is an array, and each element is a document which houses all the authorizations or permissions. We have year here, effect, action and resource. We are saying that list bucket action on the bucket name AWS Foundation bucket is allowed. Whoever user or group this policy is attached to, that user or group can perform this action. You can put multiple permissions in the same statement using multiple documents. Let's see statements in a little bit more detail. This is our statement syntax. As you can see, it is an array which contains multiple documents, each with different permissions. A complete statement would contain more components. As you can see here, we have additional components like statement ID, which is optional, principal, which is used for resource-based policies. Principal contains ARN of AWS user, account or service, which is allowed or denied access to an AWS resource. And an additional component which is condition, which says when a policy is in effect. Then we have AWS managed policies. These policies are provided and managed by AWS. We can have custom policies created by us. And then finally, we have inline policies. An inline policy is a policy that is embedded in a principal entity, which can be a user, a group, or a role. The policy is an inherent part of the principal entity. We will not use or see too much of this inline policies in our session. Let's see some AWS resource actions and ARNs for some resources. Rule of thumb while working with IAM is to have the reference document open, because there are literally thousands of actions and ARNs out there, which is not possible to remember. First, go to docs.aws.amazon.com or aws.amazon.com/documentation. Then go to Identity and Access Management. Click on this. Go to IAM User Guide. You can use the HTML version or the PDF version. Click on Reference. Then you have something called policy reference. Inside of policy reference, you have actions and context keys for IAM policies. And these are the different services available, and you can click any of the services which you want. Let's say Amazon EC2. These are the different actions possible. And these are only for a single service, which is EC2. And there are actually multiple services provided by AWS. So that's why I said you can literally have thousands of actions. So do not try to remember, come to this documentation, open this and use this documentation to create your IAM policies. We'll also say Amazon resource name. Go to Google and type Amazon resource name. The first link which is provided by AWS, click on that one. If you scroll down, you'll see example ARNs and based on services. You can click the service which you want and you can find its corresponding ARN. So for example, in EC2, these can be the different types of ARNs. For S3, these can be the different types of ARNs. First is the bucket name and then the object name. Now if you see here in S3 ARN, region name is not given because S3 is a global resource. Data resides regionally, but the resource is global. There are a lot of other resources which can be global. So refer to this documentation to check all possible ARNs for the services provided by AWS. Let's see one more example. In this example, we'll see how to create a policy document which would allow users to access a specific bucket. Name of the bucket is AWS-Foundation. This is a version and first element of the statement. The action is list all my buckets and ARN is having a wildcard value for all buckets. The second element allows specific actions on AWS Foundation bucket. The actions are list bucket and get bucket location. The third element has a few more actions allowed on resources. If you see the ARN, at the end of the bucket there's a star, which means all objects under this bucket. The actions allowed are put object, get object, and delete object. Put object is to upload objects in a bucket. Get object is used for downloading objects from a bucket, and delete object is to remove objects from a bucket. And the statement ends here. Let's see a demo now, not a complex one. We'll also see a demo of resource-based policies using S3.